A woman is being abused for others' entertainment, while helpless to resist, and her boyfriend is watching the show with ease. It turns out this is a world where strength is respected, and everyone is born with a special ability. Our protagonist Yang Shi has 999 different abilities. Originally, he just wanted to live quietly as an ordinary person, but a war between superhero ability users and strange beasts changed everything. His sister was injured as collateral damage in the battle between heroes and strange beasts. Looking at his sister lying in the hospital bed in a vegetative state, he thought if only he had enough power, his sister wouldn't be like this. Yang Shi then used his glass ability on his sister, creating an ability orb and gaining a spirit impact ability. Yang Shi looked at the ability and fell into deep thought. Was it really an accident? His sister seemed quite far from the battle at the time. Just then, a commotion came from outside the door. It was his parents refusing to sign the compensation documents from the hero's representative lawyer. Yang Shi picked up the documents from the ground and told his father that his sister was now in a vegetative state and needed life support equipment. His father immediately trembled and was speechless. Yang Shi also made his own demand to the lawyer. He wanted the hero to apologize. After some negotiation, the lawyer added 100,000 in medical expenses instead of an apology. As soon as the lawyer left, he called the hero to report his achievement. The hero was pleased, thinking 100,000 was just pocket change. After this, Yang Shi moved out of his family home. He didn't believe it was an accident, and had his own plans to uncover the truth. Yang Shi arrived at the Manhwa community complex and discovered his new roommates were two girls. One blonde girl wanted to throw a welcome party, but Yang Shi directly refused, saying he was tired and wanted to sleep. Lying in bed in his room, Yang Shi scrolled through videos and fell asleep. When he woke up, it was already 2:30 a.m., and he rushed to wash up. Just as he came out, he bumped into a drunk girl who must be the roommate who wasn't around during the day. Before Yang Shi could say hello, the girl said, "I need to use the bathroom first," and proceeded to vomit into the toilet, after which she fell asleep right there. Yang Shi could only call the other female roommate for help, but she surprisingly said there was no need to worry as this happened often. The helpless Yang Shi had to carry the girl to the sofa and thoughtfully covered her with his own coat. To his surprise, he discovered she had an F-level brain overclocking ability. Without hesitation, he used his glass ability on her and fused the two glass abilities into a new ground-level skill called Super Brain. The next day, Yang Shi was awakened by a knock at the door. It was the drunk girl from last night returning his coat. Yang Shi took the coat and asked how she was feeling, as he had taken her ability the night before. "I'm fine, I'm used to it, don't worry about me," she replied. Suddenly, a fat guy rushed in, and seeing the girl, he was shocked. Upon learning that the girl was not Yang Shi's girlfriend, he immediately started flirting with her, his hand unconsciously reaching out. Yang Shi couldn't stand watching this and pulled the fat guy away. The fat guy kept talking non-stop along the way when suddenly a disturbance outside the window attracted the two of them. They saw an octopus-like one-eyed strange beast in the sky, frantically slaughtering the crowd below. Fortunately, at the critical moment, a figure appeared in the smoke. A man dressed like Superman appeared, and the crowd exclaimed that it was the B-level hero Sour Spicy Noodle Superman. It is said that every time he activates his ability, he has to eat a bowl of sour spicy noodles. However, Sour Spicy Superman's attacks didn't cause any substantial damage to the strange beast, which grabbed Yen Dai directly. At this point, I just want to say, author, do you understand what a hand is? Looking at the scene before him, Sour Spicy Noodle Superman wondered, "Am I really only capable of being a real man for 15 minutes? Thinking about his boss's warning that resources would be cut off if there was no popularity, he took a blue mysterious pill. Instantly, his body erupted with electricity, his muscles bulged, and with a light punch, he successfully rescued Yen Dai. He then defeated the octopus strange beast with a single strike, though he himself coughed up a large mouthful of blood. Yen Dai saw Sour Spicy Noodle Superman coughing blood and falling to the ground, and hurriedly tried to help him up, but Sour Spicy Noodle Superman turned his head with a fierce expression. That violent, murderous look directly frightened Yen Dai, causing her to scream in alarm. Fortunately, Sour Spicy Noodle Superman managed to control himself and recover. The two then received praise from ordinary people like celebrities, and this scene was observed by Yang Shi from the side. He decided to go back and organize information for his next plan. Blood splattered on the octopus strange beast's corpse, and a small octopus strange beast appeared, attacking Yang Shi. Looking at the approaching small octopus strange beast, this was clearly coming to deliver an ability. Yang Shi directly activated his spirit attack ability, easily capturing this little creature and extracting a B-level fire-resistant shell ability. The ability fluctuation attracted Yen Dai's attention, and Yang Shi quickly hid, quietly changing his appearance before coming out again. Casually throwing the small strange beast over, he said, "I just helped you clean up the aftermath." Yen Dai was conflicted as the person wasn't a hero but had used an ability. The country had regulations that only those with hero qualification certificates could use abilities. Finally, she directly stopped Yang Shi, saying, "Please come with me for investigation." Facing the flames released by Yen Dai, Yang casually extinguished them and directly released his own pressure, asking, "Is it my turn to attack next?" Yan Dai immediately became scared, hurriedly apologized, and flew away. Yang didn't mind as he had more important things to do, investigating the hero who injured his sister and finding out what the blue pill that sour spicy hero took was. As he was heading home deep in thought, he wasn't paying attention and his bag was stolen. Fortunately, through his ability detection, he quickly locked onto the target, a thief with a disguise ability. This was just what he needed, as he was looking for this type of ability, and it came right to him. Just as Yang chased to the men's bathroom, he found the person had disappeared. Yang guessed the pervert might have gone to the women's bathroom, so he went to the women's bathroom and kicked open the toilet door. Yang had mental abilities and successfully found this thief who was hiding in the women's bathroom and perversely wearing stockings. Such a pervert couldn't be tolerated and needed to be taught a lesson. Yang directly hit him with a mental impact to make him mend his ways, and also stripped him of his ability. A week later, Yang accepted the invitation of his fat friend to go to a bar to enjoy themselves. Just as they entered, he found someone familiar. The rabbit queen on the stage was actually his new roommate. Then Yang sat heavily at a table with his fat friend, who waved over 3 beautiful girls. The 3 girls came very enthusiastically to Yang side, pushing the fat guy to the edge. Just then, a commotion came from the adjacent table. A rich second generation was drunk and taking out his anger on a waiter, even having his bodyguard force the waiter to drink. The waiter was gasping and didn't dare to resist at all. The rich kid had no idea that disaster was about to befall him. Seeing his new roommate being abused, Yang couldn't sit still. He got up and told his fat friend he was going to the bathroom, then transformed into a man wearing an organic mask and walked over. With one kick, he sent the bodyguard who was forcing the waiter to drink flying, then slowly sat down on the sofa and said, "Let's make a deal." The rich kid became interested, but the ability user bodyguard next to him stopped him, saying he wanted to test Yang strength. He stepped forward and directly erupted with flame ability, shouting, "Come taste my sea-level fire element attack!" Then swung a fist wrapped in flames toward Yang. Yang simply tilted his head and said, "Just this?" The ability bodyguard smiled coldly. "Since becoming a hero, no one has been able to withstand this move of mine." Just as he finished speaking, he was slapped in the face. Yang casually dispersed the flames, sent out a mental impact that immobilized the ability bodyguard, and then delivered a chop that instantly knocked him out and even stripped him of his ability. The rich kid immediately sobered up in fear and shouted, "My father is mechanical war hero, you can't kill me!" Yang had never planned to kill him anyway. He leaned close to his ear and slowly said, "Do you want abilities? If you do, come to the address on this paper." After finishing, Yang called his fat friend to continue their next appointment. Meanwhile, at the Kunlun Hero Company, a large screen was playing the scene from the bar, with a group of people carefully analyzing the footage. The leader was the rich kid's father, mechanical war hero, followed by a Yasuo-styled wandering swordsman, and another was the ice glacier warrior who had injured Yang sister. Just recently, Lin Naishue's parents came to her door and made a scene. Yang was also awakened by the noise and walked out of his room. It turned out that Lin Naishue's parents had lied about having a terminal illness to get money from her, just to buy a car and house for her brother. They didn't care at all about how hard she worked, getting up early and coming home late. They even directly sold her to a strange man, beautifully naming it a contract and saying it was for her own good. In her grievances, Lin Naishue told them about how she had to accompany customers drinking to earn money for her family, but in return, her parents cursed at her, saying she was shameless and disgraced the family. As they were about to slap her, Yang fortunately grabbed the approaching hand of Lin's father just in time. Unexpectedly, Lin's father cursed and said, "Where did this busybody come from?" Yang wouldn't tolerate him, activated his puppet suggestion on Lin's mother, who went up and gave Lin's father a big slap, followed by a lecture. Then he comforted Lin Naishue. The next day, Yang accompanied Lin Naishue to see off her parents. When he turned around and handed her the milk tea in his hand, Lin Naishue unexpectedly asked him to come closer. The innocent Yang, who had never experienced such a situation, immediately blushed. Lin Naishue then directly hugged him and gave him a kiss. After finishing his business, Yang thought about visiting a museum with his fat friend during the day. While his fat friend happily looked at various girls in the museum, Yang was sneaking around like a thief, trying to touch corpses. After all, there was an S-level strange beast specimen exhibition there, which had once caused a huge disaster. However, after a series of explorations and activating his glass ability, Yang was shocked he only extracted a level 1 skill called Plasma, which could only be used to charge a phone. Helplessly returning home and looking at the day's harvest, Yang had a sudden idea: what if he tried to decompose it? And it really worked. The ability ball was directly decomposed into dark energy. Then he tried to combine the dark energy to upgrade, and it actually succeeded. Yang was instantly happy. This way he could start at a high level. S-level abilities weren't easy to get, but he needed to get abilities first. So he set his sights on the strange beast corpse processing center. Taking advantage of the night, he secretly boarded a vehicle transporting strange beasts. As soon as he got on the vehicle, Yang Shi was shocked there was actually another accomplice on the car. Fortunately, they soon arrived at their destination, and Yang Shi directly jumped off the car with the girl in his arms. The girl, out of fear, held tightly onto Yang Shi, but fortunately, Yang Shi reminded her. The two walked and talked, and it turned out that the girl was called Qian Duo, who was there to complete a task for a commercial association. Under Qian Duo's guidance, the two quickly arrived at the corpse processing room. Qian Duo had a clear target and began to harvest the fur of a white wolf, placing it directly into her ability storage bag. At this time, Yang Shi had also extracted the D-level metal deformation ability from the white wolf. Suddenly, an alarm sounded, and the door was directly opened. A panicked worker appeared, frantically shouting that the strange beast had revived. However, before he could finish, he was dragged away by flying tentacles. This scene directly frightened Qian Duo until her legs went weak, but the tentacles didn't spare her. Yang Shi immediately used the D-level metal deformation ability he had just acquired to cut off the tentacles and save Qian Duo. At this time, the tentacle strange beast also revealed its true appearance, which further terrified Qian Duo. The skeleton tentacle monster took the opportunity to attack, but fortunately, Yang Shi managed to resist with a metal shield while asking Qian Duo to throw over a gasoline tank. With an explosion, everyone took the opportunity to escape. Suddenly, an old man with a knife appeared in front of Yang Shi, looking fierce and saying, "It was you who revived the strange beast." Wrongly accused, Qian Duo couldn't tolerate this and transformed into a saliva warrior. But fortunately, Yang Shi stopped her in time. The old man also indicated that they should deal with the strange beast first. He then drew his knife and slashed, cutting through the tentacles as if they were tofu. With a technique called Sky Revolving Knife Technique, he resolved the strange beast, but then pointed his knife at Yang Shi and Qian Duo, directly slashing toward them. Yang Shi wasn't to be outdone and directly used his mental puppet skill. After briefly controlling the old man, he used his metal ability to transform a metal knife and directly confronted the old man. However, after one strike, the knife-wielding old man surprisingly put away his knife, drove away the onlookers, and mysteriously asked Yang Shi, "Are you here to pursue the truth of the world?" The confused Yang Shi could only nod along with the old man's words. The old man laughed heartily and said, "Good lad, young and promising." It turns out that our protagonist Yang Shi was afraid the girl would reveal his abilities. The moment the girl recovered, she was so scared that she ran away like a little rabbit. As the sky darkened, Yang Shi held a small piece of metal in his hand, activated his ability, and directly formed a ring. Then he took out a bottle of blue potion. All of this was Yang Shi's way to hide himself, directly using his disguise ability to condense a new mask, completing a new identity. The next morning, rich kid Lu was sleeping soundly at the place Yang Shi had previously specified. Yang Shi directly kicked to wake up the sleeping Lu. Seeing it was Yang Shi, Lu directly hugged his leg and started licking it frantically. Yang Shi immediately activated his puppet control, asking Lu to tell him about the blue pill intelligence. However, Lu remained silent without any reaction. Yang Shi was confused. Could it be that Lu also had an ability? He directly hit him with a mental impact to make him fall asleep and checked. Damn, he really did have an ability. But this skill was quite useless, being able to revive once after death, which was just right for himself. Then Yang Shi placed the ability pearl from the strange beast processing center into Lu's body. After a while, Lu woke up, and Yang Shi began his divine deception. "This is an absorbing star ring made by our organization. It can plunder ability factors from ability users. This is an ability potion made from ability factors." Lu was still a bit skeptical, but he took a risk and drank it directly. As soon as he drank it, Lu's face contorted, his eyes turned red, and he painfully knelt in front of Yang Shi, with fur gradually growing all over his body. Soon he turned into a werewolf, and he was so smug that he asked if he could defeat his dragon brother now. Yang Shi directly poured cold water on him, saying, "Level 1 and level 1 differ by 3 levels, what are you thinking?" Lu immediately transformed into a god-level husky and started acting cute, shamelessly calling him Daddy. "If you work well, I'll give you higher-level potions in the future," Yang Shi said, and then explained about the blue pills. Lu listened and directly promised to help. After that, Yang Shi turned and left directly. On this day, our protagonist Yang Shi, after deceiving the rich second generation about how to become a husky, planned to go back and relax. Unexpectedly, on the way, he saw a familiar person. It was Qian Duo, his fellow Tomb Raider. At this time, she was being chased by a group of mysterious people who wanted the S-level strange beast weapon, the Mirasama. Out of curiosity, Yang Shi decided to sneakily approach and see what was happening. He saw Qian Duo, this iron rooster, making up nonsense. The Japanese girl wasn't happy to hear her nonsense, and directly ordered her ninja subordinates to go and grab it. However, Qian Duo wasn't a fool. She took out a fan-like weapon from her bag and fanned the two ninjas. She's got the banana leaf fan ability. Qian Duo further flew away with the wind, not forgetting to mock them, saying that anything that comes into her hands never goes back. The Japanese girl was angry. With a wave of her small hand, she transformed on the spot. proving she had the extreme ability of a snow woman. Snow began to fall from the sky. The snow woman waved her hand, and a snowflake rolled directly went toward Chien Duo in the air. Chien Duo didn't have time to react and was instantly rolled down, having a loving embrace with the ground. Facing the powerful snow woman in front of her, Chien Duo immediately started playing dumb, asking, "Do you want a gold knife or a silver knife?" The snow woman had no patience left and threatened, "If you don't tell the truth, I'll freeze you and shatter you." Chien Duo wasn't a fool. She directly took out the knife and threw it. Yang Shi hurriedly caught the knife at this time. When he drew it out and looked, he thought, "This broken knife, no one would want it even if you paid them." But the next moment, Yang Shi sensed something was wrong. Facing a group of attacking ninjas, his body moved on its own, swung the knife, and could even easily dodge people sneaking up from behind, directly taking them out with one slash. The snow woman was shocked and immediately began to counterattack. At this time, Yang Shi had just exhausted his mental power. Just as Yang Shi was about to die, a green light flashed at the critical moment, shattering the ice and snow. A man wearing double shoes on his head and a swordsman appeared before everyone. The snow woman, seeing the newcomers, directly threatened them with Chien Duo to let her leave. Unexpectedly, the man wearing double shoes on his head didn't care at all. After discussing division of labor with the swordsman, he couldn't wait to attack Yang Shi. The snow woman directly played the role of a bystander, running to the side, with the swordsman timely restraining her. However, after one strike, the people had all disappeared. Yang Shi, who was hiding, had a sudden idea and reached out his evil hand toward the broken knife. And unexpectedly, he really touched out a lot of dark matter. Yang Shi didn't hesitate to start upgrading his abilities. The level directly upgraded to level 1. But before he could be happy, a cold snow dragon from outside watched him. It was the snow woman's sister who passed by and discovered him. Fortunately, Yang Shi reacted quickly, directly condensing a large metal fan. The snow woman's sister was directly blown with her clothes in disarray. Before she could scream, Yang Shi's attack came again, instantly binding her tightly. The next moment, Yang Shi's big hand climbed the peak, and with a flash of light, a green ability ball appeared. It was the extreme ability of the snow woman. This was the ability to summon a snow woman, the ultimate dream of many otaku. At this moment, two strange men appeared and interrupted Yang Shi's daydreaming. They were the dragon and the wandering swordsman who had caught up. Yang Shi had no choice but to put down the woman in his arms. It was time for a real man's battle. The dragon and the swordsman whispered, "This weak fighter could resolve the snow woman?" The swordsman directly went up, saying, "Try and you'll know." Yang Shi very provocatively beckoned to him. The swordsman directly slashed down a knife, but Yang Shi waved his hand and blocked it, starting to counterattack. However, he found that metal control had no effect on the swordsman, so he had to transform a metal weapon and confront him directly. However, how could a small fighter like Yang Shi be a match for the swordsman? He had no choice but to upgrade his puppet control ability again. Then he activated the puppet ability on the swordsman. The swordsman began to feel a bit dazed. "Gal, are you going to attack your sister?" The swordsman realized for a second that he was under a mental attack, and slashed at the person in front of him. Fortunately, Yang Shi reacted quickly enough to dodge. Then the swordsman stopped attacking and directly admitted defeat, slowly saying, "I know I'm under an illusion, but facing my most respected sister, I still can't do it." He then retreated and warned the dragon to beware of mental attacks. The dragon, however, didn't care at all and walked forward, releasing purple flames. "Let's make a bet. If you lose, tell me the secret of your ring." Yang Shi was instantly happy inside. Of course, he would agree to this. Before he could finish, the dragon attacked, and Yang Shi immediately used a metal shield to block. But unexpectedly, the dragon instantly ran behind him and gave Yang Shi a heavy elbow strike, instantly sending him flying into the sky, then heavily falling to the ground. Is that all? Dual abilities are nothing much. With the protagonist halo on him, Yang Shi directly began to release his puppet control skill. The dragon carelessly got caught instantly. But this not only didn't work but also angered the dragon, who activated his second form, with attributes getting a comprehensive upgrade. Facing the fully upgraded dragon, Yang Shi could only temporarily avoid the sharp edge. However, the dragon still caught up with him. Forced to the end, Yang Shi suddenly erupted, directly releasing his metal skill to control the dragon. The dragon coldly laughed with overconfidence. "I have black flame on me." Looking at Yang Shi, who was oddly calm, he said, "My fire resistance isn't just for show." The next moment, the black dragon was dumbfounded. His flames couldn't actually burn through the metal released by Yang Shi. On the other side, Yang Shi took the opportunity to wave his big hand, and countless metals began to rise into the sky. A huge metal cube slowly formed and smashed down on the dragon. This scene scared even the onlookers into showing expression packs. As the smoke dissipated, two shadows slowly appeared. It turned out that at the critical moment, the wandering swordsman had saved the dragon. The scene transitions, and Yang Shi returns home, applying medicine to himself while wondering if he should move away, as the things he was investigating might implicate his harem. Just then, the Xuanai girl returned home. Yang Shi had just told everyone that he was moving away, and the three women were shocked. Then a purple-haired girl next to them became anxious. If you leave, what about Shwenai girl? Yangshi awkwardly thought. What should I do? There's nothing between her and me. The Shwenai girl silently walked toward her room. With a bang, the door bore what it shouldn't have borne. Oh well, he had to console his own harem himself. Then Yangshi went to Shwenai's room and started apologizing. Shwenai's emotions instantly collapsed, her eyes filled with tears. Is it because you look down on my background? Seeing this, Yangshi steeled himself, directly grabbed Shwenai girl's jade hand, and with a deep gaze slowly said, No, and then kissed her. The subsequent content that everyone doesn't like to see was skipped. After comforting his harem, Yangshi pulled the fat guy to go burgling. After that, lying on the bed, he began to study the snow woman ability he had touched. Then a golden array formed, and a snow woman little lowly appeared out of thin air, happily calling Yangshi. At this moment, I just want to say, let go of that lowly, she belongs to our comment section.